Lakers Nation, what is going on, guys? So we just got a recent report coming from Lakers Better on his sports, basketball Twitter page, and it says that the Los Angeles Lakers could reportedly use their taxpayer mid-level exception on a backup center through free agency in the offseason after landing a starting caliber center via trade, whether if it's Nick Claxton or Daniel Gafford. I'm hearing that the Lakers have to, overpay for Daniel Gafford. Most likely, realistically, the Lakers are probably going to have to overpay if they want to get a star-level center. But before I get into the video, guys, and break it down, I really appreciate it if you could help your brother out by liking the video. Really helps my channel grow a lot, the algorithm, and to reach it to a big audience. That's what I'm really trying to do. Make sure you guys keep commenting, sharing to get, more viewers, or bring them in the comment section, and follow my socials if you guys want to stay connected with me. But also make sure you guys turn on the notification bell, because if you guys don't have it on, then you guys are not going to get notified whenever it drops daily, if not almost every single day, 365 days. So if you guys enjoy my content, make sure you guys do that. But let's get back into today's video, and I'm not going to waste too much time. Now, the names that have been brought up as a backup center is Clint Capella, Al Horford, Kevon Looney, or Steve Adams from the Houston Rockets. Now, in my personal opinion, the Lakers are going to have to trade for a center through the market, no matter what. Whether if it's Nick Claxton, I know he's really realistic because, the relationship between Rob Pelinka and Sean Marks, and the Lakers made trades in the past. Even look at Dorian Finney-Smith, and I know the Brooklyn Nets, pretty much value expiring contracts. That's how we'll be able to get Dorian Finney-Smith. And I know Memphis offered a protected or lightly protected first-round pick, but, guess what? The Nets really valued our expiring contracts, so maybe the Lakers do re-engage to get a trade for Nick Claxton. It's about the moving parts, because the Lakers, they really don't want to move on from Austin Reeves. He's going to contract year. Like, do you really want to lose him for nothing next offseason? He's probably going to get paid at least $30 to, if not $40+ million, right? So I don't think the Lakers are going to want to pay him at least $30 to $40 million. Would I be surprised if they do? No. But at the same time, I'll be very upset if they did that, right? Especially when we need to round out this roster, improve it, and put better pieces around Luka Doncic and LeBron James. Because, man, oh man, that backcourt is just not good defensively. You already got a liability in that. And then you got another liability in Roy Hachimura and, in the star lineup. He's been better defensively, but still not elite. He's still not great. Can he be serviceable? Sure. But your most athletic player who's 40 years of age, and LeBron James, is just unacceptable, right? But I'm going on a tangent. I do digress. So the Lakers, they're going to have to do some moving parts, like I said. How do teams value Dalton Knecht? I know he's shown the ability to win a game by himself. I know he's young. He's 24 years of age. Because maybe a team does, take a chance on him because he's young, but it's not like he's 19, 20, or 21, where it's going to take at least 2 or 3 years to develop, right? Because he's already a proven player from college, right? And this is a guy that's supposed to contribute right away. He can make plays for himself, create for himself and others. He has the ability to operate and shoot over the top. So he's a 3-level scorer. But if you look at the stats and stuff like that, he's considered one of our worst, or if not our poorest defender on this team. So maybe the Lakers do trade for a top 20 pick or move into the first round and include Dalton Knecht and some other pieces. But we'll see, man. I think it's, very interesting, but it doesn't look like the Lakers want to move on from Roy Hachimura. There's also recent reports coming out that LeBron James and Luka Doncic are the only players that are untouchable. So we'll see. Hopefully the Lakers do entertain an Austin Reeves trade. Maybe the Lakers do trade him, but I don't see it happening because they value him way too much. I do believe there's some guys that are expendable, but that's just my personal opinion. But we'll see what happens. Now, Clint Capella, he is a backup center for the Atlanta Hawks. He did play, 55 games after last year playing around, I believe, 72. So his games did go down. He started 41 games. But the starting level center in Congo, he played majority of the games. He played 74, started 40 of them. So there's a big difference. And they're even talking about trading Clint Capella during the trade deadline. So he's a player that's been linked to the Los Angeles Lakers. He's on an expiring contract, right? He is 31 years of age, so maybe they don't want to lose him for nothing. But he's a player that would just make perfect sense as a backup center. if he's your starting level center, then that's a concern. He's not the same player in his prime with the Houston Rockets when they have, James Harden. I know I keep repeating myself, but it's just the truth, right? He's still one of the better, rebounders in the league. He can be a lob threat. He's versatile on the defense end. He can guard multiple positions, but he isn't my favorite option. But if the Lakers just, take a rental, take a gap year, then sure, because I guess the Lakers don't want to trade Austin Reeves or Roy Hachimura for one of these pieces to go get a center. Hopefully they do. But let's just say the Lakers use all their assets towards, 3-and-D guards, or not 3-and-D guards, but versatile wings, then I don't mind that. But Clint Capella is a guy that just can rebound, just protect the rim. He's actually making around $22.2 million, but he's averaging around 9 points per game and shot 56% from the field, 8.5 rebounds, and 1 block per game, not 1.1. I was about to say that by my apology, right? Now, the next player that I do want to talk about is Al Horford. He's been on plenty of, Eastern Conference, finals and NBA finals, even back in 2022 against the Golden State Warriors, but they did lose. But he finally won a championship last year, 2024. I know there was literally reports considering him, retiring, but he came back, right? And I know things didn't go as planned as this year because they were hoping to repeat. As a Laker fan, I'm happy they did not, because that's a rivalry. But Jason Tatum got injured, I believe it was game 4 or game 5 in New York. So he tore his Achilles, going to be out majority of the season. And they have 3 or 4 guys under contract: Drew Holiday, Derek White, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum. He just paid Peyton Pritchard. He won 6th Man of the Year coming off the bench. So there are some few guys on the Boston Celtics that are going to be free agents at the center position as a backup. Luke Cornett, I already covered him before, but maybe Al Horford looks at it as you know what, the Boston Celtics, they're probably going to take a gap year. They're not going to go back to the NBA Finals. Maybe I should sign with a different team, right? So Al Horford, what does he bring? He brings, veteran leadership. He's 39 years of age. I know he's old. He's not young anymore. To be honest, guys, I'm going to be honest. I'd much rather have him than a Brook Lopez. I know Brook Lopez is 37. He's 2 years younger, but he did decline. And I feel like Al Horford is still a solid player in today's, NBA. So he's widely regarded as an elite defender in the NBA, versatile enough to, switch on to both guards and bigs, lock them down one-on-one matchups and provide a shot-blocking presence in the paint. And I'm going to be honest, guys, in Game 4 of 2025, postseason against Orlando Magic, he was really, huge. He recorded 5 blocks, which is actually incredible, pretty much tying for the most ever in a playoff game by a player age 38 or older. He also locked down the best, player on the Magic, Paolo Banchero, the star center or power forward, whatever you want to call him. But he was holding them down to at least 7 points on 3 for 10 shooting and 25 defensive matchups, and completely shut off Franz, Wagner. He's the brother of Mo Wagner, but I digress. He had 0 points on 0 for 5 shooting, over 15 defensive possessions. Overall, Horford is ranked second in NBA for defensive field goal percentage during the 2025, playoffs. 38.1%, underscoring his continued elite performance. He's also proven effective in isolation situations, consistently limiting opponents' points per possession, even at his age 39. Horford's defensive impact, especially in high-stake postseason matchups, remains substantial. So that could just be valuable, and that could just be a huge, boost for the team off the bench, right? As a starter, then there's my concerns, but as a backup, I'm actually fine with it. He can also make plays for himself and others. And he's pretty much, smart. He has an IQ. He's a pick and pop big. He can score a little bit too. He's not really a primary, shot creator, but he's a pretty, good 3-point shooter. Shot around, what was it, 36.3% from the 3-point line. He did average around 9 points per game, shooting 42.3% from the field, 6.2 rebounds, which is very good for a guy who's, 39 years of age, 2.1 assists, 0.9 blocks, 0.6 steals, and shot on 5.2 attempts from 3, and shot 89.5% from the free throw line. So I'm currently looking at his contract, right? He's making around $9.5 to at least $9.7 million. He's going to become unrestricted free agent, so maybe he does take the taxpayer MLE, but we have to look out. Maybe there's some other teams that might even offer more than that. We'll see. But if he's one to take that, then I'm definitely down for Oh, Horford. Next up is Kevon Looney from the Golden State Warriors. That ship is sailed. He isn't the same player from 2022. As a starter, I wouldn't want it, but as a backup, then sure, he's still one of the better rebounders in the league. He's 29 years of age. He's not super old, but he's not so young, right? So the only problem with him, he's undersized. He's 6'9", does weigh about 222 pounds. So he's not like very physical. He's not big, but he's only making around $8 million. The Golden State Warriors are a complete, mess. I know they lost in the first round. Actually, no, second round. My apology, because they beat Houston in 7, but they lost to, the Minnesota Timberwolves in the second round, right? I know Stephen Curry got injured in game 1, but he missed the majority of, the postseason, stuff like that. And they just weren't good enough, right? But Kevon Looney, like I said, he's still a very good, rebounder. I would take him on the taxpayer, mid-level exception. Any of these guys are good, but if I had to pick like my favorite option, it's probably, Clint Capella. He's one of the top, free agent markets, which is not super, good when you're a guy that's not the same player anymore. But there's players like Brook Lopez, but I'll just pass on him. 37. I mean, I would bring him down if like everything, fails. Last case of emergency, then sure. But I don't want to get a little bit off topic because he wasn't brought up in this report. And then lastly, you got Steve Adams, who's on, the Houston Rockets. I even see reports that they're willing to bring him back, but I'm not sure if they're going to. But I'm not sure if the Lakers are going to be able to get him. But we'll see. He's big. He's physical. He brings that presence. He's a very good rebounder, right? He's been to, plenty of, playoffs and has experience. He's been to the NBA Finals before. I believe he was on OKC in 2012 the last time, they made it to the NBA Finals. They had James Harden, Russ Westbrook, Kevin Durant, but he's 31 years of age. He's listed at 6'11", weighs about 265 pounds, so he's that big physical presence, can, score on the low or on the post. Not very elite, but he's really known on the defense end. Can rim protect a little bit, but he's not really a lob threat. But he did average around like 5 points per game. Might have been even less than that. But he's making around $12.6 million. But the Lakers, there's also a report coming out that Jack Kenney's pretty much has ruled out, coming back to the Los Angeles Lakers after that report was coming out from NBA Central like weeks ago that Jack Kenney just wasn't happy towards the end of the season. He wasn't thrilled with his role after getting benched in Game 5, and it shows that the Lakers need a starter-level center or just a backup. Jack Kenney's as your starter or backup, I don't like it. As your third-string center, like if he's our third center, then I don't mind it, but he pretty much, put it out there and said those reports weren't true, that he wasn't thrilled, so looks like he's willing to, come back without, depends how much he's going to get paid. I don't see him getting paid more money than what he's worth, right? But yeah, man, that's for today's video. That's all I got. Make sure you guys keep liking, sharing. I'm going to try to respond to all your comments, if not some of them. But make sure you guys comment. Let me know in the comment section what videos or topics do you guys want to see me talk about, whatever to do, free agency, trades, updates, the NBA draft, prospects, all that good stuff. But yeah, man, I'm out of here. Peace. Cheers.